Hey, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to see all of you here, excited and happy for celebrating our third anniversary of Diacto. And it's my pleasure, and I'm glad that I'm getting this opportunity to introduce Dr. Ravi Kulkarni sir on this occasion. Ravi sir is a graduate from IISc Bangalore and has done his PhD from Columbia University, New York. He has 38 patents and technical publications in various international journals. He worked in the USA for more than 20 years with the large companies like Union Carbide, Exxon, and IBM before he came back to India. He started his own venture with Alka in 1990. Alka is serving industry for more than 30 years now with 120 unique products across the globe. With this, I would like to invite Ravi sir to say a few words.
Good evening. First of all, I would like to congratulate the whole team for being able to get here at a 3-year-old and successful company. It is indeed a great pleasure and exciting moment for you to be 3-year-old. You moved, actually what essentially it means is that you moved away from a backyard operation to a credible operation that is known in the multiple nations. It has grown having its own USP and niche, is profitable and has a hunger for growth. That's great. That's really a great place to be. And I think most company will envy you where you are today. You have all the things accomplished in 3 years time frame. At least one thing is clear to me is that you have been taken note of in the global market. Global market knows you exist, and that's really great. I wish to salute the promoter, Om Moria, and want to congratulate all the employees who have done such a wonderful work to bring this company to place where we are today. So what I want to do is to just go through as to what the Diacto look like 10 years down the line. Okay. And therefore, and where we are today and where we would be, and what is the path, what is the in between, what goes on. That's a very big topic, so I'm not going to cover much of it. It's just even just few highlights as to what it is like. The flavor of what it looks like 10 years down the line. Now I would like to highlight the 10 commandments as to what makes companies grow. And by the way, growth is an important part because in our individual capacity, we may or may not grow. But companies have no option. Companies either grow and thrive and succeed, or they die. There's nothing like a not growing. The growth has to be part of it because everybody who's joining the company today are youngsters like you who have vision and who have future and who want to build future. And you are going to be with the company which actually builds future. So therefore, our collective wisdom says that all of us should focus our attention in figuring out how to grow. And therefore, these 10 commandments. So what are the 10 commandments? The first commandment is that create and sustain culture of innovation. In my whole 50 years are now in the industry, there's nothing more important than being innovative. And innovation doesn't mean that we bring innovative products. Our thinking has to change. So everything can be innovated. And innovation to me is very simple. Creating new value is what innovation. Creating new value is innovation. You can create new innovation even as how you serve a tea in your organization, how you interface with customers, to a new product and new processes. Everything is innovation. And therefore, I am using the word not innovation, but innovation culture. That means that persons in the organizations have to think that the innovation is part of our life and part of the bloodstream. The second thing is the team synergy. We in India, unfortunately, it's been brought up in the culture where we give excellence to the individual excellence. I got a gold medal, I got this and I got that, and I am number 1 and number 2 and so forth. But when you run an organization, individual excellence is not as important as the team excellence. So that would mean that we work as a part of a team. And believe me, one of the statements which I have heard in IBM often is that very, very smart people many times will win. But it's very hard to beat an excellent team. Excellent team consistently wins because excellent team has a different connotation in the world. So I believe that you guys should be thinking about how do I create an excellent team, because excellent teams are unbeatable. Okay. Individuals, when you talk about an average team, a 20 people team with 100 IQ could be 0 IQ. But a company with a team of 20 people with a very synergized goals and objectives can be 2,000 and could be 20,000 also IQ. So you add up IQs or you can subtract IQs depending upon how you work. So secret behind success is not individuals or very bright individuals, but we want to have people who have gel together and work together and create synergy. Third is that lead the change. A lot of people say we want to manage change or we want to keep up with the change. No, I think the kind of business you are in, it's not enough for you to manage change or keep up with the change. You should be the change. That means you should be leading change. In your core, whatever the core technology you have, core expertise and core competency you have, focus on how do I lead the change. That way everybody else has to follow. If you do that, you are actually heading towards the billion-dollar company. Full organization has to be customer-centric. So instead of having a traditional organization which is actually hierarchical based, it sets around the customer. I think one of the CEO I know in US, he would come to meetings and he will walk away from the meeting if in the next 5 minutes, if there is no mention of a customer, the CEO will walk away because those meetings are not much use if you are not talking about customer-centric human meetings. The point is that everything starts and everything ends with the customer, and therefore customer centricity is very, very critical. Positive attitude. So what I'm going to say here is this: you are going to go and meet and face a lot of competition all over the world, and you are to be slightly better. It's not slightly better with next difference. Please think about and keep in your mind. You want to beat the competition by mile, not by inch, not by feet, not by meter, but by mile. If you think that attitude, yeah, I'm going to win the customer because I'm going to beat him by a mile, no, everybody will take note of it and you will always be on the right direction. Okay. Otherwise, there's going to be nitpicking here and there. Don't think the world is going to be 100% unbiased. The world tend to be unbiased. So if you beat the competition by mile, everybody will take note of it. Next point is that pursuit of excellence. I think this is one thing which is very, very important to me in my organization also, is that everybody thinks, yeah, I want to bring a touch of excellence today in what I do. What I did yesterday and what I did the day before, today I'm going to touch and just some slight touch of excellence is brought into what I do. Your customer take note of it, and you know what happens that most organizations over a period of time decay. But any organization where touch of excellence is part of the gene, genetic coding of the company, if the touch of excellence, your organization always going to improve rather than decay. You guarantee yourself or your organization to be non-decay if you think about in a culture, your culture, touch of excellence. Another thing is that when you talk about growth, we are talking about Diacto to think about not local but global. You are a global company, even though you are small, you are a global company, your competition is global, your customers are global. Okay, your thinking is global, and your vision is global. If you look at that part, I think you will have a far more success in hand because you think in that fashion. Okay, so thinking global, and therefore how do you run and how do you grow in such an environment where you talk about global partnership? I think one of the key things of everything is not done in-house. Everything is not done by Diacto. You don't, if you want to grow fast, seek good partnerships across the globe. You will realize you will grow much faster than what you could do by yourself. Okay, you should be sticking to your core competence. Stick to your core competence, and everything else grow by partnership. And that will ensure that you remain agile, fast, and yet grow fast. I think one point I want to mention, and this is particularly because we are coming from Indian environment, that our environment is what it is. But the one which is going to guarantee you success is the pursuit of ethics. You may see, my God, a lot of people do a lot of handicap things and so forth. Do not get distracted to those because there's no option. If you want to grow fast, you want to grow big, you want to sustain yourself in the growth path, there's no other path other than being ethically very, very strong, brutally honest, brutally clear about your ethics. If you do that, you may miss a little bit the profit margin here and there, but so sticking to the core strength and partnership are the mantras which you should be talking about. And what do you call keeping the team together in the highs and lows is not just job of the CEO, but everybody. Everybody, one of you should think about. I am part of the organization, and there are a few things that are going to be going up and down as the organization grows. I'm going to be understanding because I take a bigger picture, and because you take a bigger picture, you understand it and you go through this process. And so, therefore, people should have a desire to grow as fast as they can. So anyway, so what I want to say in conclusion is that it's an exciting ride. Put on the seat belts and plan for growth, and make sure the 10 commandments which I mentioned, we actually keep those in mind. Thank you very much.